What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the new TMNT game that we got the trailer for. Now, we actually talked about this a few months back. This was officially announced back then, but we kind of just had open-ended statements that the game was in development, it was being worked on. We didn't know the team. So one of the biggest things, or maybe the biggest thing that came out of today's trailer for it is we actually got the team that is making this game, and I do want to talk about that quite a bit. We've heard about like a God of War style thing for this game. That'd be God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok. It feels like, even though we get like nothing in the trailer, I think that's gonna kind of be the theme to it. But what we have is the makers of the Destroy All Humans remakes. Now, this one, I really like this. I'll say that right now. I think a lot of people are actually quite concerned or are quite like maybe worried, maybe like, okay, can they handle a game such as this? Few things we have to remember there, but I overall think it's a positive thing. I think this team is actually quite talented. I'm actually slightly disappointed in the sense that we aren't going to get like a Destroy All Humans 3. When Destroy All Humans 2 remake came out, I had said you have a choice. You could keep going, and there's really no more really good Destroy All Human games that you can remake. I think it's about time that you make a brand new game. But what I thought was, well, you just remade 1 and 2, eliminate everything else from the canon, and just make a third game. Well, they are making an original game, so that is definitely a sign that I think the higher-ups, the THQs, right, they feel very confident in Black Forest games. At the same time, it's something that's very, very different. I think that's where the concern comes in. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. They've done Destroy All Humans 1 and 2's remake, and that's what they're known for. I think it would have made a lot of sense for them to make a third game from the ground up, but instead they're going into a very different, even maybe genre of games, and it's a pretty big property. I will say one thing that I would give them is already, even though they're two very different things, they've shown that they respect source material. That's one thing I want to kind of throw in there. You think about Destroy All Humans 1 and 2, right? You're remaking it, so you're trying to keep what it was back then and bring it to what it is now. So yes, it's different because now you're doing something based off of a comic series versus literally just bringing a game back, a decade and a half later. But they do have the kind of background of respecting what's come before, using it, and making something somewhat new, I suppose. I'm stretching it a little bit, but it's really all you kind of have to work with. I'm excited. I think they can do it. I think they're very talented. Remember, again, back when we first heard about this game a few months ago, we heard it was years off. It doesn't seem like it's too many. Like, I don't think this is a game that's going to take 4 or 5 years. This is probably a game that's going to take 2 or 3 more years, so that's very good. You're not looking at half a decade. You're not looking at the PS6 generation, right? We know the systems, PS5, Series S and X, and PC, so only newer stuff, as it should be for right now, right? One other thing to throw in case it wasn't obvious, though, this is very much feeling like a AA kind of game. I actually, again, I'm going to keep stressing it. I think they did a really good job with Destroy All Humans. I really do. And I think those games hold up. I think those games are great games. I think they're worth it. But are those huge, gigantic AAA games? No. Now, on one side, that doesn't really matter, right? That's not necessarily a big deal. You could say, well, not every game needs to be AAA. I understand. However, if you're in your mind thinking, okay, God of War, hundreds of millions of dollars that go into this thing. This is going to be a huge thing. I can't imagine it would live up to that kind of expectation. This is just that, middle tier kind of game. And that's okay for now. We'll have to judge it, I guess, when it comes out. I'm sure there could be people, or maybe I'll be saying it, when the game comes out, you say, oh man, I wish they had something good here. Maybe it should have had a bigger budget, a bigger kind of size team or whatever ends up happening. But for right now, I'm pretty pumped about it. As we talked about last time, I've never actually, I've read almost like the spark notes of the last Ronin. Like, I know what it's about and all that jazz, but I've never actually read it. But at the same time, I know how much people are into it. I know how much people are excited about this. And you could tell, even based off Twitter, people are pretty pumped. Oh, one final thing. At the end of the trailer, it says, I believe, Nickelodeon. People are a little worried about it. I do believe it's been stressed somewhere else. I don't know. I've seen some tweets about it where they do say that it's going to be a older audience. So this is still a more mature game. So we'll see what the age rating is. But for those afraid that maybe it would be like a, T for teen game, we'll see. It might still be that. I mean, some of the Uncharted games for T14, that's one of the first franchises that kind of comes to my mind. I don't think it's a make or break thing, but I do understand people want kind of the dark, considering what happens in this thing. People want the dark elements of it. I understand it. We'll have to keep our eye on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on if you want to follow or support me anywhere else. All my links to my other YouTube channels, our Twitter, our Discord, etc. are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.